The head of the International Monetary Fund has issued a dire warning on the global economy, saying now's not the time for the, quote, self-inflicted economic wound caused by trade wars. Speaking at the opening of the spring meetings of the IMF and World Bank, Christine Lagarde said countries should be boosting trade to combat the slowdown in global economic growth. Our correspondent Ediz Tiyansan has been following the meetings and joins us now from Washington. Hi, Ediz. We've heard some very grim words there from the IMF chief, Christine Lagarde, but it's also been a huge period for financial and economic meetings, not only with the World Bank and IMF, but also the G20 finance chiefs. Tell us more about what's happened as a result of these gatherings.
Well, exactly. These so-called IMF and World Bank spring meetings take place every year, and they last for about an entire week. And it's an opportunity for the top representatives from a variety of sectors to come together. Like you said, the ministers of finance and treasury from the G20 countries and some other countries are present here in Washington, as well as the top representatives of the business world and NGOs as well. Of course, the objective here is to take a look at the standing of the global economy, share certain policy issues, and of course address the concerns of global economy and finance. And like you said, we've heard a significant message this year from the IMF expressing its concern for the rising level of debt and lack of regulations within the corporate world. Now, IMF has recently released its Global Financial Stability Report, in which it says that we are going through a time of high uncertainty, with some 70% of the global economy caught in a growth slowdown, which it says has been made only worse by ongoing trade battles. Now, there's of course an unspoken reference there to the rift between the world's two largest economies, namely the United States and China. Of course, the rift between the two countries have led to negatively affected rather the global supply chains and business conference, and that's why these meetings here in Washington at the IMF headquarters offer a golden opportunity for these delegates to come together, engage in one-on-one discussions, negotiations at certain times, and also for many other delegations to come together, meet in certain panels, discuss policy issues, and address some of these confidence issues.
And we understand that these meetings are going to continue over the weekend. Can we expect any solid outcomes or solutions at the end of these meetings?
Well, there's always more advice than concrete results, I would say. After all, IMF is, of course, the world's largest international financial institution with some 189 countries. And in such high-level meetings, many other issues are also discussed. It's not just global economy and finance. And some of the other highlights from this year were also about the effectiveness of foreign aid. As you know, IMF lends out money to many countries who are in need. They're talking this year about the effectiveness of those aid sums of money and how to improve it in the future years. They're also talking about ending poverty, how better implement some policies that are already in place to develop and improve the economies of the developing countries across the world. Also, one more issue was a highlight event this year, as Christine Lagarde has personally participated in a panel on climate change. IMF is also trying to raise awareness and encourage not just the countries, but also the corporate world to act responsibly when it comes to social issues like climate change.
Okay, Ediz Tiyansan, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you again for that update from Washington.